Hi there, and welcome to the 7-layer density experiment. You will need the following: a clear glass or plastic cylinder, some honey, some corn syrup, for example Caro, some washing up liquid, some water, some vegetable oil, some rubbing alcohol, and some lamp oil. You'll also need at least one, ideally 3, basters, and also a steady hand and a little patience. The amount of liquids needed is dependent on the size of the cylinder that you choose. The one used in this video is a 1000 milliliter cylinder or calibrated cylinder, and therefore I used 150 milliliters of each of the liquids. Essentially, find the size of the cylinder, divide it by 7 and round it to a nice easy number that you can measure out the amounts for. The first layer we use is the honey. All we need to do here is squeeze or pour the honey into the center of the cylinder, ensuring that it does not touch the sides. Whilst it's not absolutely necessary, I would certainly recommend using a runny and or squeezable honey, as you can see that it will make life a lot easier for you. Next up, we add the corn syrup. Again, pour slowly and without touching the sides. Let each layer settle, especially after the first few denser layers, as they will have and trap bubbles of air, which is just much easier to let them escape sooner rather than later. Next, we add the washing up liquid. As we go through these layers, we need to increasingly be more careful in how we pour. This is the last one that we can pour straight into the cylinder, so again, pour slowly, carefully, and do not touch the sides of the cylinder as it goes in. Take your time on this. You can see the washing up liquid landing in the corn syrup. If you squeeze it any harder, it's just going to start to mix these layers up and just make the job just that little bit harder. At various points of this video, I'm now going to start speeding up the video so that it enables you to see it a little bit quicker. Next, we add the water. From now on, we're going to use the baster to add all of our liquids. The baster is effectively a giant pipette. We use the baster to trickle the liquids down the inside of the wall of the cylinder. This is because as the liquids become increasingly thinner, they need to be added more gently, and they cannot simply be allowed to fall into the layer beforehand, otherwise it will mix up the layers. Once again, I've sped up this process for the video, however, you just need to be patient and take your time in practice. Next up, we're going to add the vegetable oil. Again, carefully trickle it down the inside of the cylinder wall. This will take longer and longer to do each time, and you just need to take care and just have a little bit of patience. The slower you do it, the less there's going to be any even remote mixing between each layer of these liquids. Now we add the rubbing alcohol, which, as you can see, I've coloured with a red dye in order to see the different layers even more clearly. Take your time, be gentle. I've accelerated and speeded up this process on the video, but it takes a little longer each time and for each layer. Finally, we add the lamp oil. You'll notice that this time I need to seal the end of the baster with my finger because the lack of density and therefore surface tension in the lamp oil means that it will really start to trickle out even without releasing the bulb at the top. Once again, you can colour the lamp oil using a special lamp oil colour. I've just omitted to do so on this occasion. This completes the practical element of the 7-layer density experiment. Now you just leave the cylinder to settle for that little bit longer. Over the course of the next few minutes and then hours, the layers will continue to settle and become increasingly striking as a result. So, what is going on here? Well, the secret science here is density. Density is the measure of how much mass is contained in a given unit, or volume. Density equals mass divided by volume. If mass is a measure of how much stuff there is in an object or liquid, density is a measure of how tightly that stuff is packed together. Based on this density equation, density equals mass divided by volume. If the weight or mass of something increases but the volume stays the same, the density has to go up. Likewise, if the mass decreases but the volume stays the same, the density has to go down. Lighter liquids like water or rubbing alcohol are less dense or have less stuff packed into them than heavier liquids like honey or corn syrup. Every liquid has a density number associated with it. For example, water has a density of 1 gram per cubic meter. This is why 1 cubic meter of water weighs 1 metric ton. Thank you for watching this video. I hope that you are able to go and try it for yourself, and also perhaps consider using different liquids with different densities to get different results. Please take a look at my other videos, and if you can, leave a review or like them on Facebook or YouTube or on the website, wherever you can. Thank you. Enjoy.